program that would require ICE to cooperate with state and local police departments.
In 2020, over 1,000 criminal migrants were taken off our streets, but in 2021, apprehensions declined drastically to under 400. Since last year, nothing has been reported. Texas Congressman Michael Cloud is leading the charge to get this program back on track and joins us now. Congressman, good morning to you. Tell us a little bit more about this issue and how you plan to address it.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, there's this 287G program that allows local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE. They go through an agreement process where the local officers receive training, and basically in their day-to-day enforcement activities, if they come across a criminal alien, can work with ICE to make sure that person gets off the streets. And it's a very simple program. It's very sensible. Anyone would want this in their communities for sure, to make sure that these criminal aliens are off the streets. But what we've seen under the Biden administration, again, is not just doing everything they can to aid and abet cartels and their illicit activities, but doing everything they can to inhibit law enforcement from protecting their communities.
To be clear, your bill shouldn't be necessary. I mean, this is the way it should work. This is the way Congress intended this partnership ultimately to work, yet organizations and individuals are stepping in to make that not the case. Does it boggle the mind that a bill like this is even necessary, a bill that says follow the law?
Yeah, it certainly is, because we write these legislation with the thinking that the administration has the best intent of the American people in mind. And then when you see this happening to where, applications are not being approved, the program is not expanded, and in spite of the fact that the traffic at the border has grown exponentially, we know dozens of terrorists have been arrested at the border. We know 100,000 people have died from fentanyl poisonings, in the last year or so, and still this administration does everything they can to tie the hands of law enforcement in very overt ways, and then in ways that they just slow roll applications to the 287G program. And so a lot of this stuff flies under the radar, but the Biden administration is really not doing a good service to the American people when it comes to protecting their communities.
Well, Congressman, your colleague in Texas, Henry Cuellar, recently told our reporter Bill Malugin about a conversation he had with DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And Mayorkas told Cuellar that he knows that the situation at the southern border is bad, but he said that there are immigration activists in the White House and there's nothing he can do about it. So the DHS secretary is reportedly admitting that the situation is far worse than what the Biden administration is admitting, and his hands are tied. There's nothing he can do to fix it. What's your response to that?
Well, he may say those things in private, but he's really got to stand up and have a backbone when it comes to doing his constitutional obligation to protect our borders. And if he can't do that, then impeachment certainly is on the table come next term. And, he's lied to us in our face about what's happening when it comes to the trafficking that's going on. We've seen, our governor, Greg Abbott, send migrants to some of these, quote, sanctuary cities, and we've seen an uproar over that. But the thing is the federal government's doing this for a long time, and Secretary Mayorkas just sits here and lies to us about it. And, he's not acting in good faith toward following the laws or protecting the communities that are affected by these cartel activity. And if you can't do that, why are you in the job?
Congressman, under Joe Biden's leadership, more than 3.5 million migrants have been encountered at our southern border. Over 1,300 migrant deaths and over 250 terrorist encounters have also been reported. Look, safe to say no Democrat in Congress, save for maybe Henry Cuellar, like Carly mentioned, is going to vote for your bill. But is this a day one vote when Republicans take back Congress if the people of the country go out and vote in Republicans on November 8th?
I can tell you the border has got to be top priority. It's certainly top of mind of the American people, and they understand that we can't have safe communities if we're not willing to protect our borders. And so this, along with the other things that need to be done, restoring safe third country, completing the infrastructure at the border, getting the technology, restoring our Border Patrol agents. They've been so demeaned in this process, and this administration's done everything they can to discourage them. But anything we can do to build them up, to give them the funding they need, that's all got to be part of a package that comes for securing our border and enabling the rule of law in our communities once again.
Congressman Michael Cloud, thank you so much for getting up early with us.